Hello friends, Cheryl here with Pulp, and I am back with my original ideas journal. This is missing one signature, but we'll go through what's in here. I had a viewer request to do a flip through. So this was my original ideas journal, and look at how, hang on, let me measure. The spine on this one is 3 inches. So this has got a 3-inch spine. And it's got 5 signatures. It had 6, but it's got 5 left. And I'm going to show you what's on the back first because it prevents the book from laying open. So this is an idea that I got in a package. Hang on one second here. Let's see. How does this go? This goes this way. This goes this way. And I love this thing, but it was too thick to put in the ideas journal, so I just clipped it to the back. So the first item is this little pamphlet, and I made another one for my 1920s journal. This is the one that I made, and it's actually even thicker. So we open it up. The flap opens, this little signature opens, and then this little signature opens. So these are little signatures in here, and then there's some, decorations and stuff, but it's mainly the signature that, the way the signatures are put into this that I wanted for the ideas journal. So you could put fewer pages and make this sit down flatter, and then I've got the directions here with all the measurements. So if I want to make another one. So this was my fun little idea here, and I'll put that back on the back when we're done. I wanted to show you guys the cover a little bit. So I covered the book in this fabric. This is fabric, and it's like grungy dictionary kind of fabric. And then I took a piece of cardboard and we took some chenille. I say we because I did this in my Art Before Breakfast group, and put inks on them. I've got green and probably vintage photo. And underneath, I've got this green fabric here. And what I did is I put this fabric down first, and then I ripped some holes in the chenille and glued it over the top so that it looked really grungy. And then in this hole, I put a little tag that we had made. And then it's just got, there's lace, there's cheesecloth, a button. Here's some metal pieces. This is like a little metal, I don't know, kind of a grate. Here's some more of it up here. Goes all the way across here. And then I had some copper that I had in my jewelry side of the business. I had a piece of copper. I had more of this thing with the holes in it. And so I glued that up there. And so I just put, these are they resistors, capacitors? I don't know. I got this in a box of stuff and I just put them on there. So this is my grungy cover. All right, and then starting, and now the other thing I wanted to point out, and I think I'm going to need to redo this and tighten them up a little bit, but these are not sewn in, these signatures. They are in here with just thread, and they're getting kind of loose, so I'll have to go in. So this is a tag. Oh, this technique right here was water embossing, where you splatter water on the front of the piece and you heat it from the bottom, but you splatter it so that you get like a water splatter, and then you put on your embossing powder and kind of let that dry, and then you heat it from the bottom so the embossing powder doesn't blow away. And then we did this. And then this was just a piece. I guess this is a side tuck. this little piece we created here. This is, and I want to do another video on these. This is a little notepad, but it's got a shape to it. And I want to go back and show, how we did this. Because I've got leaves, I've got all kinds of things that we can use, but it's a scrappy notepad that has a shape. It's not just a square scrappy notepad. And then this little card was from my Your Creative Studio box. I made that into a pocket, and that's empty. Oh, this one was piecing. So I have a die that has this love on it. So I put the blue card through and punched it out. And then I put the brown paper through and punched it out. And then I pieced the brown into the blue. Okay. And then we've got a glassine bag this is not a pocket, this is just on here, that is covered with fabric and some stuff. It's a little metal mesh. I actually still have some of this. It's a metal mesh that I don't know where I got it, but I used it on the background and I really loved that idea of the mesh. So we put this in here. And this scallop pattern is the same as the scrappy notepad, so I use that die a lot. All right. So I've got this here. I can probably undo that and pull it tighter because it's just a little too loose. I also need to fix the top of my pages because it's kind of getting in between there. Oh, this was kind of fun. This was a piece of packaging that was, folded over. And so I decorated it and I put this little girl underneath, but it was like her head was cut off when it was just closed. And so, what am I going to do? So I sewed on a lace flap. And so when you open it, you get the full girl there and a place to write. So that idea was how to extend your if you're using packaging, because I thought this was a unique piece of packaging. Anyway, that's that one. See, this is coming apart. I need to go through and do some repairs in here. Oh, this was how to take a napkin and put it over the whole envelope, and then we took a water pen and went around the windows. You know how on a napkin you can use a water pen to pull pieces off. So that's what this was, an envelope and the water pen to cut out. It made it a lot easier than having to try to piece around the windows. Okay, here's just a little page decoration, and it's on a bulb pin. It's got a piece of fabric. This is a piece of paper trim, piece of lace, another piece of lace, and then a button. So that's just a little dangle for a page trim. Oh, this is one of my favorite techniques. So on this one, I had 3 circles, which I decorated. And then I put little tiny eyelets in them, and I ran some string through them. So they come out of these little pockets, and you can turn them over and write on them. And then I took, in this case, some lace and some blue cheesecloth, and then I put little bees on each one of them. Okay, so I decorated the little pockets for them to fit into. And I pulled the string up and glued it at the top over a piece of lace, and then put a border strip at the top. So this is one of my favorite. I've never seen this done before, but I sort of came up with this idea. Oh, I don't know if anybody else has ever done it. For me, I hadn't seen it when I decided to do this in my very first journal. So that's that page. This page is a glassine envelope that I colored with my gelatos. I used my gelatos and did a coloring on it, and then I decorated it and put some lace on it. So this is a glassine with gelatos. This I just made I made like a little pouch thing here, but it's open top and bottom. And then I took a tag and I just put down inside of there. So it sticks out at the top, sticks out at the bottom. I really like that idea. I need to make more of these. And then I put that in the glassine envelope. All right, this one, nothing particular about this one. It just shows a flip, with a decorated journaling card. This one is graduated sizes and pockets. See, this pocket is this big, and then it goes this big, and then this big. And then I found little tags to put in them. I put a little safety pin on this one to hold down that cinema tag. That's rusty, actually. But yeah, I just put little tags in them. But the idea was to have 3 pockets on a page in graduated sizes. This one I really like. In fact, I made this for my recent nurse's journal. This looks like a shirt. This is an envelope. This is a junk mail envelope, and it's folded and cut to look like a shirt collar. And then I really love this little tag. I may take this out and use it and put something else in here. This is just a tag or a journaling card. Guest check. Again, just the idea of decorating a guest check. Nothing special about that one. And again, I need to reinforce my folds there. This I got in a lot that I purchased from somebody online. And I really love this. It's, graduated. It's like a waterfall, but it's a little notepad. And then a little topper on it with some eyelets punched, and then a little sari silk. So I just liked I liked the waterfall look of that notebook. So that's what that is. This was fun. This was little tags, and I had 3 of them that trying to think if they were all one piece, and I don't remember if they were. They look like they're 3 separate tags, but I wouldn't guarantee that. But they're so I think what I did is cut the backing for all 3, and then I and that held them together. And then I decorated them with little Timmy people. We've got a little rose here and some trim. So that's just a trifold little tag. And I just got it clipped in with a little paper clip. This is this came from my friend Cheryl, Crafty Shamrock. and it's got, 4 pockets, but they vary in size. I loved this. And I've got all the measurements here to make this. So, and then this just is decorated and it folds up. And then I had this. I had this piece of seam binding holding it all together. But I like the graduated sizes of the pockets. We probably need to make more of those too. These ideas journals are so much fun because you forget about things if you haven't made them for a while. And this just brings it all back again. This was just showing how I took, and I made it into a little scrappy notebook kind of thing, but this was a book, an image from a book, and it's kind of shiny. But I took that and then put a tab on it, some trim, but it shows how I used an image, and then I made like a side tuck here with the lace for it to fit into. This is one of my favorites. So this is a peek through. This is on the back of the tag, and then I cut out a bunch of the paper, and then I just folded back the edges. Can you see that? Can you see how it's folded back? So it's like it's torn away. And then I decorated with some lace bits. Okay. So that's fun. This right here is paper towel. I was rusting some paper clips, and I put this paper towel, I wetted them down, put this paper towel over them, and this is you can see the shape of the paper clips there. They might have been safety pins, but no, I think they were paper clips, one or the other. And so I ended up with that. This is a tiny little scrappy notepad, tiny, tiny, tiny. But I took a brad, I have some specialty brads, and I just put a brad through it to hold it together, and then it can just clip into a small little pocket. I need to make up a bunch more of those too. All right, that's that signature. This signature, I had some of these CD cases, and I made a flip out of it, and in each side of it, I made a card, a decorated little journaling card, and this one is a bumblebee. Okay. So this is just showing how you can take a CD case and make a flip out of it. This one is, it's got another plastic case to it, and they came like this. It had a little index card with a tab on it, and I just decorated it, and it goes inside of this. And I used some like watercolors to paint this in, shimmery watercolors. This was an idea that one of my viewers had, where you just take some strips of fabric and lay them out and sew through them. They're not really touching, but you sew across and it makes a little banner to go across the page. It could also go down the side of a page. I put it across the top. So that's a little banner out of fabric and lace. Oh, this I got as a freebie on an Etsy purchase that I had, and it's this little tag. Let's see, does it open or anything? No, it's just a tag. But then they took the paper and made a little envelope out of it, and I really like that, so I stuck it in here as an idea. This one, I love this, except that these are not my colors. I got this, I think I bought it on a YouTube sale, And I didn't care for the colors of the decoration, but I liked the idea. So what this is 2 sheets of paper, and I have all the measurements and stuff on the pockets. It's basically 2 sheets of paper, one folded up this way, and then the other one folded up this way, corners rounded, sew around it, and it makes 1, 2, 3 pockets. Well, 4 if you put something in the back. Okay, so it's just taking a couple papers and making pockets. Oh, this book needs some TLC, I see. Lots of stuff ripping. All right. Oh, this was fun. This was like a fabric collage on the back. You see all the different little fabric pieces. And it was made into a little scrappy notebook. And then some lace and a butterfly button. But the main thing here was using the fabric collage. Oh, so these were, all 3 of these. I was supposed to go on a retreat at the beginning of August. And as some of you know, I took a fall at the end of July and I broke my femur. And I was in the hospital. I was in a rehab center for a few weeks in a wheelchair. Basically, my whole summer was spent recovering from that femur break. But as part of the not requirements, but the homework for the retreat that I was going to go on, there were 3 little pieces that we were supposed to make, and we were going to swap them. So I thought I'd leave them as ideas. This was a side of a file folder that opened up, decorated here, room for a tag, and then a scrappy little notepad on this side. And I thought that was so cute. This was a house, and there were no instructions. It was just make a house. And so this is the house that I made. And then the last piece was just a little scrappy notepad out of, I think it was the rest of that file folder. It was just a scrappy notepad. So since I didn't go on the retreat, I decided to hang on to these pieces and keep them as, let's see, how did I have this in here? I had these paper clipped. This and this. And then I think I had this one. So those were just the ideas that I had from that. Now she's having another retreat in March, same place, just, the coming year. And I'm signed up for that. So please say a prayer for me that I don't fall and break anything else before the retreat so I can actually go on it this year. I'm really excited about it. I haven't made my homework stuff yet, but anyway, that's what that is. And then, this is just a side. I took some different fabrics and papers and lace, and here's a little charm. Here's a fiber. I just took some little stuff and made a band here to decorate the side of the page. So you can, and I, stitched it together. So you can put anything you want on there and make that. Oh, this one I did just recently. This is a slider page. And if you look on my channel, and it's very recent, you'll see the tutorial where I made a slider page. So this middle part goes up and down. Okay, goes up and down. And when you push it, these little pieces here flip out. Okay, I did one where I had a flip out and then flip up. So you can do them 4-way, On this one, I just did 2 now. I'm having a hard time getting this one down. And then you slide it down and these come out. So if you want to know how to make a slider page, that is on my channel. This, and I just made another one of these. I love this. And I think I did a video on it. I love this. This is an envelope. I had this long piece of, it was an image on some paper, and I glued it onto the envelope, but it didn't quite go all the way over. So what I did, I went ahead and decorated this, and then I put down some fabric and some lace over the edge to extend it, and then I put this little closure on here. And these are pockets at the top, so you can put something in the pockets. But isn't that cute? I love that. The only thing about this one is that we use some puffy tape on it to make so the bottom part of the mushroom is all the way down on the paper, and then there's some puffy tape at the top to make it stand out, to give it, like a 3D look. And little fairy girl is looking up at the mushroom. This pocket was a demonstration of how to take a larger die cut and put on your pocket to give it, see how it's got the deer and the mushroom now, to, give it an extra look. So your decorations for your pockets don't have to fit right on the pocket. You can have them stick up. This I love. I got this in where did I get this? I don't remember. I got it in some sort of thing that I bought. And I did make another one, and I wrote down all the dimensions. But this flips up. Okay, that's the first layer. And then the second layer flips up. Okay. This is the second layer. I was pulling the third one. So the person who made this put a picture in there. Okay. That's the second layer. And then the third layer is this piece. The fourth layer is just a blank card. The fifth layer opens up, writing page. And the sixth layer opens up to a writing page. And the last layer, so there's 7 layers in this, is another piece of writing page. And it's not that thick, really. And I just absolutely love this. And then the top is decorated. So I really, really, really like this, how this is put together. And that I received. Now, I've made my own since then that have my style to them. This is really bulky, so you'd have to put this on the front of a journal or maybe in a back pocket or something. But the idea here is to take some corrugated cardboard and, make something with it. And so in this one, I put a little pocket and a little, tiny tag in there. And I've got a real dimensional flower up here with some lace and real dark edges. So this was just taking corrugated cardboard. And like I said, it's real bulky, so you probably wouldn't want to put that in the middle of a journal. Oh, this one's fun. So this one I had, I don't know if they were individual cards or it was one sheet of paper, but I cut them down so that they, fit here. And then if you open this, you get this to write on. And then you open the next one and you get that to write on. and then the third one, and then I put little tabs at the top. So you just had to cut them down. You know, they're cut, and that's why, so you can see the little cut here in the fabric so that they open up. Okay, and then I put fabric around there. So that was a fun one. Another one that I need to make more of. So many of these ideas. And that in that pocket. All right, this one was just showing a playing card that I grunged up with sandpaper. I took a backing. It was a card. I made a pocket out of it. But it was a card, and I sewed some fabric on. It goes over the edges. I sewed some fabric on the top, and then I decorated it with grungy lace, and this is some embossed paper. But I took this playing card and really scruffed it up and made it look old and used it as the focal point. And I don't know if you can see that it's all scruffy, but it is. Okay, and the last piece in here, oh, look at this, is more of that chenille that I put over a piece of cardboard to make a pocket back here. But this is, I have a die cut that is this big scallop, and then I have another one that is the smaller scallop. So I made basically a frame. I cut out the big one, and then I cut out the inside and made a little one. And then I had an even smaller one. And what I did is I put some packaging on here, and I took the smaller one, put a mushroom on each side, and decorated it. So this is using the graduated. You could do this with squares. You could do it. I just did it with scallops. So that's that idea. All right. I'll have to do another video with the other, because I have some other ideas that, well, hang on a second. Let me go grab, I'm going to put you on hold for just a second here. I'm going to go grab that other book, and I'll show you the other one that I had done. Okay, here's the new ideas journal. It's not nearly as elaborate as the other one, but I think it's pretty. I love this fabric that's on the, that's on here. And it's just held together with a string. And then I put a lace doily with some other doilies and a flower, and then my book plate here. So it's not quite as fancy. And the first signature is all packing paper. I haven't done anything with this yet. So that's all new. This signature came out of the other book, and it was just, that other book was just too big. And so I moved it over to this journal. And the first idea here is this little scrappy notepad, which actually was decorated on this side, so I would have put it in here. And what you do is just take a bunch of paper and cut out a circle, like use something as a template, but cut, tear around it. And then take one a little bit smaller. Actually, these are all kind of the same size. They are a little bit graduated, smaller, and you offset them, right? So this one's up here, this one's down here. You offset them and then sew down the middle. And so what you get is this that fits over the side of a page. Now, not all of these are my ideas. I saw this. I couldn't tell you right now where I saw it, but I love that. Okay, this one is just a little envelope, and inside, so it was a mini CD envelope, and I just put a little card in there and centered the bug in the middle, and I see that I have a little rip there. So I'll use some of that old tape, looks like vintage tape, and tape that up. So I have a little bit of, like I said, a little bit of fixing to do on the big one. Oh, this was fun. So the back page is just a piece. Oh, it's an envelope. It's an envelope. And I took a stencil and I put texture paste through it. That's what this stuff is in the back. And I let that dry. And then I went over it with like a copper wax. So it was kind of shiny. And then I put down, this is actually a belly band here. I put down some lace with this little bookmark over the top. And then I took some of my metal pieces and decorated this. But this is, hang on, let me pull some out here. Oh, here's another one of these that I made. This is a belly band. Okay. Yeah, there's another one of those little shirt things that I made. All right. Here's another idea where I use the corrugated cardboard in the back. Put some lace on, put her on. This one's not as bulky as the other one. It's a little bit bulky, but I would put this in a journal. And then I just made this little pocket for it. This idea is a piece of fabric, a piece of book page, and this is decorating the side of a page. And then I had this raggedy edge that came off of something, and I made a ruffle out of it on the sewing machine. And I put that down there. So just a way to decorate the side of a page. Oh, this one is an envelope, right? The letter size envelope. You fold it in half, and then you fold the top down. Okay, so it makes a pocket here. You've got a pocket here, and then you've got a pocket from the envelope. And then these are just little pieces that I put in here. I don't think they're anything special. Yeah, there's just a little card. Oh, put some lace on the back. I think this went here. And again, just another decorated tag. Nothing special about that. I just used them for filling up the pockets. So this is 1, 2, 3 pockets out of one business size envelope. This one, it's just an example of a little scrappy notepad. I don't remember where I got this, but this came in something. It just shows, some different things. There's a color swatch, some paper with some decoration. Here's some old tape on there. This is a little pocket in the back, and then a little card. So just some little decorated bits. It's hard to get in here because of there we go. So this was something I got in, I don't know where I got it. I got it in something that I ordered. It came in. And so I just used that as an idea. Oh, this is another one of the little scrappy notepads. But on this one, instead of making it a shape, I cut out rounds. And I took a little miniature doily and I punched a couple of holes with some eyelets, put some thread through it to hold it, so you can open it. And then I decorated I have a little rose hanging here. And I decorated it. So that's another way to kind of stuck a little bit. That's another way to do the little mini notepads. Oh, and here's another one of those. I don't know why I have 2 of them in there. This is another one of those little shirts. Oh, I know why I have it in there, because I made this a double. So I made this, I folded it in half and I made 2 pockets on it so it would wrap around. And you can glue it on or you can leave it as a floating pocket, but it's a double. And then this, I received, I bought this at a sale and I loved it so much because they took this magnifying glass, put some acetate behind it, and then some, things in the glass. And then it's just inside, some pockets, and there's a belly band. And then this is a pocket in the back and an envelope in there. So I just like the whole structure of this, but specifically I loved the idea of taking the magnifying glass and, making that see-through. You could do that with a mirror. You could do that with a window cutout. Come on, go over there. I don't want to have to retie this whole thing. So that's what that one was. This is something I bought because I loved the look of it. All right, so that finishes the flip through. And again, I'll have to fill up these pages and then come back and show you when I get this all full. All right, I hope that was helpful. I hope maybe you got some ideas for inspiration. Can make, if you have questions about any of the things here and how to make them, either leave me a comment or send me an email at inkedpulp@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to help you out and tell you how I made it. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. That is the 2 idea journal flip throughs, and hopefully we'll have a lot more stuff to show you soon. All right, have a great day, everybody. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. Tell me what was your favorite idea in these journals. All right, have a great day, everybody. Bye.